Welcome to Module 2 of the Mastercam training video series. Today we'll be focusing on planes and levels. We'll discuss what planes and levels are, how to use the plane and level tab, how to create them, and also how they're going to apply to machining here at APL. So the first thing we need is something to work with. So in our workspace here, let's create a simple cube. So we will be discussing solids and drafting in another video. For our purposes here, we'll quickly create a wire geometry. From that, we can make ourselves a quick cube. Wireframe solid, we use this chain as a reference. We create a 6 by 6 by 6 cube. Okay, and now we want some features on it. So let's add a chamfer. Let's add to all 4 edges here. Let's make this a 1-inch chamfer. Something a good practice to do anytime you have a solid is to add wireframe to all edges. So let's highlight this part, and then we'll go to wireframe, curve all edges. This gives us reference for any features or surfaces. All right. So planes. Planes are simply, in essence, the view or how we will locate what we would like to do to our part. Whether that is where to put the tool paths, where to add features if we were modeling or drawing, as well as locate our work offset or work coordinate system. The 3 standard views, which you will find on almost any drawing. If we access right click, go to our quick view. These are views. They also correlate to planes. So top view, front view, right side, ISO, or we have the remaining views that we can choose from. For most intents and purposes, and especially 3-axis milling, we will work our work coordinate system, the plane, which under our planes tab will display all of the active planes we have to choose from, is the top plane, the top view. Essentially, our work surface, we're looking down at our work table. On this corner, this would be our 0 point, which is G54, 55, whatever work offset, that's your 0 point. Here in the planes, we can see all of our planes that are active and available to us. Top, front, back plane, bottom plane, right, left, isometric, reverse, and so on. So in the top plane, if we go to the right, the 3 things we need to focus on are essentially what will matter the most are our WCS, work coordinate system, C, which is for construction, and T is for tool. Construction plane would be for anything we would be modeling or geometry or features. That would not only allow us to add features on the active construction plane, it would also reflect geometry. Tool plane. Tool plane will be how the tool path is referenced to the model. We have our top, our front, right, and left side. But what about these chamfers here? What plane are those? We have to create a plane. So over here in on our planes tab in the upper left, we have this plus sign, create a new plane. If we select that, we have some options from geometry, from solid face, from G view. What we're going to choose is from solid face. All right. We want to create a plane. We want to be able to add, let's say we want to add a feature such as a hole that we're going to drill or mill out. We want to add it to this surface. How do we do that? So first we have to create a plane. So we'll select this surface. Okay, now you see we have our axis here, our gnomon axis, and this blue square that shows us where our plane is. All right, you see how it lines up? It's flat to that face. All right. So we're gonna create a plane. Let's name it chamfer. Accept. Now you'll see we have just added a plane to our planes menu. We can add as many planes as we desire. I could have a plane for this particular model on every single chamfer. So let's do that again. Let's add a chamfer, a plane to this chamfer here. Create new plane from solid face. Select the left side. Accept. Let's give the name left chamfer. Now you can see it's added to our planes menu, and we have chamfer, left chamfer. So say we want to add a hole here. This will be covered again in the wireframe, CAD, solids videos. We'll do it quickly here for our purposes. So this is our chamfer plane. We're going to select chamfer. Now we're in construction mode. We want to construct a hole. So where it says C, which is for construction plane, we want chamfer to now become our construction plane. You see that? All right. Now the tool plane also changed when I selected that. We can make it independent, or it can be active on this plane. The tool plane will come into play later on. So first we have our construction plane. Let's draw a circle. Let's just go with a center point. We'll make it 1/2 inch diameter. Select. All right. Solids menu. We're going to do an extruded cut into the part. Select our chain. There'll be a chain menu or chain module. Chain module coming soon. For now, before we get into chains, we need to understand the planes and the levels. All right, select. So now we want to take this just inside 1 inch. Sorry about that. Let's redo this. Solids, extrude. Select this, correct. We need to pick cut body. Sorry, we had create body. That wanted to add. We want to subtract. There we go. Now we're removing material. -1. Sorry, 1. We hit tab, it will highlight our dimension. -1 point, enter. Enter, all right. Let's repeat that on our left chamfer. We will now make this our construction plane. Now you notice when we go to our views, The G view I have named. Now I can also quickly orient to the planes we've created. So we're going to go left chamfer. It brought it where it's facing parallel with us. Wireframe, circle center point. We'll make this one 5/8, 625 diameter. Same process, solids, extrude. First we select our chain, get our hole, okay. Cut body, grab our arrow, drag it in, tab, -1, enter, enter, good. All right, now you can see. Okay. So we have our holes. All right. It's essentially how we utilized planes, creating planes for construction. If I have the top plane selected, it will only allow me to draw or add construction features to that plane. You have to be in construction plane has to be highlighted in the plane that you wish to add construction features to. So if I do top, all right, wireframe, even if I'm over here off in the distance, see construction, you will get a warning. Construction plane is perpendicular to graphics view. So we say, okay, let's go back to our plane. We need to select. All right. See now, top view, I'm actually on my top view. That's my top plane. All right. Now with my top plane highlighted, you can see that. All right. If I want to make a plane, if I want to draw a feature on this surface, I need to create a new plane from solid face. Correct. Top of part. So this now we have a plane on the top, but to draw on it, we have to activate it as a construction plane. Now I can draw a hole. Yes. 1.5 inches. Yes. Solids. Extrude. Yes. This time let's create a body. Let's make a 1-inch boss. It's already set. All right. Any feature we add, if we wish to have a chain, a wireframe on it, we'll have to add that as well. Another quick way, select that surface. We also have these in here. All right, yes, yes, good. All right. Now, the second part of planes we want to focus on is our tool plane. So let's say we want to add router tool paths. We want to circle interpolate that hole. We want to ramp down in it. We'll get more into tool paths later, but for explanation of a tool plane, let's do this. So let's select this chain. This is geometry we want to cut. So we're going to select that chain. Yes, we'll be climb milling. The arrow's in the right direction. All right. Tool. We don't have any tools set up. We're going to create just a generic tool here. 0.25 1/4-inch diameter finish. We won't worry about all of our feeds and speeds yet. Cut parameter. We want to ramp 2D. All right. We're not going to worry about all of our cut settings right now. Depths of cut, we're going to be ramping. All right. Or plunging. So just for our application here. So top feed plane is going to be I like to run everything in absolute. working off surfaces. There's times we'll run incremental. That'll be more into our toolpath module. So our depth, just pick our depth, yes. Top of stock. This, we'll just select our surface. All right. Because our work coordinate system, one thing we have to make sure of, our work coordinate system is still on the top. All right. But now, see how my tool path is coming in here? All right. These yellow lines are the rapid, green and red are lead in, lead out. So we're cutting into our part, or we would be. All right. Why is that? Well, our tool plane is not correct for the features that we selected. We want our tool to come in, so to speak, perpendicular, enter the hole, machine, leave. To do that, this is our plane, chamfer plane. This needs to become our construction and tool plane. Now, what we can do in our toolpath menu, we have planes. So work coordinate is going to be top, tool plane. So let's change that. We're going to select from the list. We're going to pick chamfer. Same for construction plane, chamfer. Now this X, that means our toolpath is dirty. We need to clean it up or regenerate it. All right. So this little arrow, more we'll get on this on toolpaths. This regens our part. Now, see this? Our tool's coming in the right direction, although what we see, it's cutting to the outside. So this arrow, this refers, this is our offset or our comp, right and left comp, right and left offset, and our direction. So let's just change side. Yes. Regen. All right. Now we just want to check and make sure everything's good. Parameters, top of stock. 0, our depth. We always want to, when we change planes, we always want to make sure that our selections, our feed plane, our retract, our clearances, everything is correct. Let's regen. All right. Now we can see this blue line. That's our actual tool path. That is what the tool is going to do. It's going to plunge in, circle, interpolate, and out. Router, contour. Let's do this again. It's our geometry. All right. Now here's what we want. Because our plane was not selected correctly for what the feature we had, it wasn't going to give us all the options. All right. So now we will escape out of this. No, we're going to go back to our parameters. Now we're going to select 2D ramp. Ramp angle, this is fine, just for show. Yes. Regenerate. All right, now you can see the tool is going to use a helical move, bore in the hole. So the lesson behind this was, it's critical when we're making tool paths that we have a tool plane set up and it's highlighted for the plane we want to machine the features from. So let's just run a contour full depth around this boss. Okay, so when we establish this, router, select, we can set planes in our tool paths menu, or before we proceed, we can select the right tool plane. So now this is our top of part plane. We're going to activate it as construction and tool plane. Tool paths. router toolpath, contour. I'm going to select our menu. We want to go this way to climb mill. Tool, same tool. Everything's the same. Good. Parameters, ramp. This, we'll just go full depth on this for reference purposes. Linking, top of stock. Here, depth. Here, 0. These selections here, depending on what we're doing, won't always be as simple as they seem. But if you click on any of these, it will allow you to select based off of chains, faces, different things. So our top of stock. It's a quick way. We can also right click inside of the yellow box, and it gives us many things to choose from. Coordinates of the point, distance between holes, a lot of different choices we have how we can select our linking parameters. But for what we're doing here, see how that came out correctly the first time? We didn't have to go back in and select our top stock and our depths and all that. It's there. We didn't have to regen any tool paths. Rapids down, feed, lead in, around the part, lead out, gone. We can actually see this tool in action, just so you see how we referenced this plane for construction and for the tool. So if we click on here, on this tool path, this is our back plot. It's going to display our tool and our holder and all that. Slow it down. We can, yes, comes in, feeds around the part. Good. Out. All right. Now, one last thing with planes. This is the basics of planes. When we get into 5-axis tool paths, we'll be working with planes more. This is just to get you familiar so you understand the concept behind them. So let's go into our parameters, to our plane menu. Let's say we change our construction plane from top of part to, say we make it our right side. All right. We have to regen our toolpath. Oh, see this? It tells us, oh, they're not equal. Anytime you do something that's not acceptable, you will get a warning or, an alert. So it says the construction plane and tool plane are not equal. All right. That's why we need to keep them equal. Top of part, yes. Select, regen, boom. All right. 9 out of 10 times our tool plane and our construction plane will be the same. There are instances, very specific instances where they may be slightly different. If we have a tool path and we copy the tool path and want to array or rotate, kind of like a theta of our tool paths, but that's something else we won't discuss now. So we have a couple tool paths. So what we have now are levels. All right. This is something that's very helpful when we get into multiple operations. We have a lot of features. We want to be able to get some clarity with what we're looking at. Levels are essentially like a folder. Just like on a folder on your desktop, you'll be able to, assign features such as solids, surfaces, wireframe, different geometry. We can assign those to specific levels, like a folder. We have the ability to activate and deactivate those levels, which will essentially make them disappear, kind of hides them. If we have an assembly or we have a complicated part, we can actually hide sections of it by turning levels on and off. This is also useful if we have, say, this part was going to be made in 2 operations. Say we had this in a vise, and we wanted to rough this all out, and then we were going to turn it over and machine the top of it off. All right. First, we could have the vise, the 3D CAD model of the vise, we could have in its own level. We could make that disappear if we wanted. Then, if we have 2 operations for this model, we could have this model, how we're seeing it now, in this location, in a level. We could have the second operation, say this part was rotated 180 degrees to face or hat off stock. We could merge or copy this model and assign that to its own level. We could call, a lot of times these levels are, and how I do it is operation 1, op 1, op 2. I can hide op 2 while I'm programming for operation 1, and vice versa. When I want to program and verify and simulate for operation 2, I can hide operation 1. Sometimes when you have a lot of features, a lot of surfaces, and you've curved all edges and you have these wireframes, it can look very crowded and cluttered. We can actually put wireframes into its own level. We can put stock wireframes or bounding boxes into its own level. It's a way to organize and be able to sift through all the features we have in a very nice way. So you'll see the levels here, levels tab. Let's select that. So right now we have one level with 32 entities, 32 features, so to speak. For the time being, let's move back to our top plane. So now, let's say I want to put all of these wireframes into a level. I want to be able to make them disappear, but not delete them. All right. So just as our planes, we're going to add a new level. And if we click here, let's say, let's double click. We're going to call this wireframe. Yes. Okay. Now, something like this, the easiest thing to do, drag, select. It's going to select everything. We're going to click on the model that unselects the actual solid. All right, all the wires are highlighted and this solid. So let's take this solid. We want that, but we don't want that solid. If we right click, we're going to have a quick access here. So let's see, change level. So we want to move these features to, so we'll deselect active level. We will select, we want to move these to, yes, wireframe. Okay, yes. All right, now see how wireframe is our active level and it's visible? Let's go, if we click here next to the number, now that's my active level. There's a check mark there. Now, if a level is active, we cannot hide it. But if it's inactive and we click on the X, they all go away. See that? No more wire. Wire here, wire gone. Now, if I select this level, all active entities will be shown. Now I can get rid of my solid. It's just a wireframe. Bring it back. The same thing can be done. See this boss here? I want to make this boss. Yes, I'm going to highlight this feature, send to, use active level, because that's my active level. I can do that. Now I can copy. This feature is also in our level 1. There's 2 entities, 2 solids, our cube with the chamfers and our boss. I can move this feature to level 3, which will remove it from level 1, or I could copy it. But let's move it. All right. So now I can make everything else invisible, and all I'm left with is the boss. Now you'll see these toolpaths. We can have the toolpaths where that doesn't show, any of the motion. Advanced display, cutting motion, rapid retract. We can take all this off of here. For now, there's many ways we can choose what we want to see, what we don't want to see. For now, that's just we can put all this, activate all this. This is normally on. All right, so now let's go back to our levels. Let's bring back our solids. Yes, yes. Good. One thing to know using levels, if I want to say I want to make a hole in this boss all the way through, and I just want to drag and drop, slide that arrow down through. I don't want to have to put a dimension or click a chain. I want to make a hole through that feature, but not through this part. All right. The concept is that when we deactivate a level, any changes, any modifications or things we do will not affect that level. All right. So we have boss. Let's get rid of the wireframe. All right. So our construction plane, top of part. All right. So our top of part, let's go surfaces. Yes, solids, extrude. Oh, we got to select our chain. Yes, cut body. All right. Let's do this a little differently. Sorry about that. Let's make a plane on the top of this boss. Top of boss. Yes, wireframe. So our top of boss becomes our construction. Let's draw a quick circle. Cool. Solids, extrude. Yes. Good. We want to make a cutting feature. We'll say we're going to cut at negative 3.444. Enter, enter. All right. Now see this warning? Operation requires planar chain. All right. But regardless of that, we've cut a hole through it. All right. Sometimes you can do things, you get little warnings, but for purposes to show you the holes cut through it. All right, now levels. Bring back that and that. See that hole? Even though we cut it negative 3.444 inches, it didn't cut into our cube. That's because this level was not active. This level was hidden. It was invisible. So anything we did to the little boss, was not done to the cube. It's a way to modify things without interrupting uh, the rest of your solid, your parts. Just a little show on that. For planes and levels, that's about it. For how it'll apply to what we'll be doing here at APL on the router for most of the parts we'll be looking at. There's a little more to planes, but we'll get into that with toolpaths module. And thank you for joining me, and look out for module number 3, which will be on chains. Thank you.